Welcome back to another video. Today I'm discussing Tanjiro in Jujutsu Kaisen and how well he does, or at least what I think how well he does. As we know, Tanjiro is an increasingly skilled swordsman, so if we just transport end of series Tanjiro, let's give it what it is, to the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, he would have the inept and the heavenly restriction just possessed on him, just because he would have no curse energy, but he would still have the ability to see curses, fight against the curses, just not have any specialized curse techniques, which really limits him in the Jujutsu Kaisen world. But as long as he has that heavenly restriction, which I think if you transport any of the demon slayers into Jujutsu Kaisen, it makes sense to have that attachment onto him. Within that, you could think of his heavenly restriction to be as powerful or be as strong as Maki and as Toji. As he would gain more experience, he would have more experience with the sword, he would have more experience fighting stronger enemies, and I'm just teleporting end of series with all his knowledge of other demons into the Jujutsu Kaisen verse. I know technically Demon Slayer doesn't have any abilities, but he has, the Hashira level training, he has a Demon Slayer mark, which increases his strength, agility, speed, all on the battlefield, of course. Now, within that, who would he end up fighting? Well, if I swap him and Itadori places, which is this video, swapping them places, you would have to think of the gauntlet of Itadori's villains. He would have to not be able to touch Mahito. He would have to not be able to touch Jogo. He would have to fight. Technically Itadori wasn't Jogo's fight. That was more of a Sukuna fight. Within that, he would have to fight, manga spoilers, of course. He would have to fight Yuta, and Yuta's obviously could Toji, because I'm thinking Tanjiro would be as strong as Toji and as Maki with his heavenly restriction, or even stronger within his Demon Slayer mark, which gives him the added ability to just be stronger than those with the heavenly restriction thing as a power boost. Now within that, what could he fight? He would fight he would be a special grade sorcerer, of course. Technically it wouldn't classify him as one, but he would be a special grade. Of course, he would be able to fight on the likes of Sukuna before Sukuna does all the binding vows and stuff. He would fight Yuta, but Yuta has incredibly broken hacks, so he would lose to Yuta. He would, of course, lose to Gojo. But he could fight Hikari to a standstill, and of course, Hikari is not. I consider Hikari a special grade, though he doesn't get that rating within the verse. I consider him a special grade just because he can use domain expansion, and he's considered to be on par with Gojo and Sukuna whenever he's in his jackpot mode. So maybe he could fight Hikari to a standstill, or even end the series. Yuji, of course, with Yuji being the end of the series, never reaching the lights up Sukuna, and of course Gojo. Not even Yuta at the end of the series. But with Itadori's prolonged training and probably much more in the future, Yuji was able to surpass Yuta, but Yuta was able to get the reins of mostly everything in the Jujutsu verse. So besides that, he would not be able to fight Kashimo, just because Kashimo was too fast, and his end-all be-all ability would have killed Tanjiro in the long run. I would like to think Tanjiro runs the gauntlet of Itadori's villains. Mostly while he would get past Mahito, he would have the speed, the strength for it. He would get past Jogo just because he would have the speed and the strength for it, along with his feats and the Demon Slayer mark. He just wouldn't be able to face those special grade sorcerers that he meets in the calling games, or even the calling games, and once they get to after the calling games, which is the final arc. I just don't know what to call that arc. But he would die in the calling games for sure. But that's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And it's my opinion on how far Tanjiro would go. He would get to the calling games, but once Yuta, the judge, I think Higuruma, all these hacks, abilities, these binding vows, everything that gets played through in the ending parts of Jujutsu Kaisen would just absolutely wash Tanjiro. But he gets past Shibuya Incident arc with ease. Anyway, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.